Hi, Thursday, the 9th of January 2020, and we're very, very close to the full moon now. It's not actually coming in until tomorrow. It's going to be 11:21 a.m. Pacific, 2:21 p.m. Eastern here in UK, 21 minutes past 7. So we're quite a long way away from it at the moment. The moon is actually at this moment about, 97.7% full, so very close. But she sort of slows down as she gets close to full moon, and when she's waning, she slows down as she gets closer to the new moon as well. It's kind of an apple-shaped cycle. It's rather difficult to describe without showing a picture of it, and my editing skills aren't great. But it's just a fact of life. She'll put on 10% a day in mid-cycle, but at the moment it's just kind of about 1.5% that she's going to put on today. But tantalisingly close to that full moon. And the moon is actually in Cancer now, which is where she's going to be for the full moon. And at the full moon, it's going to be a penumbral lunar eclipse where the Earth darkens the moon by getting in the way of the sun. So it's going to be a strange one. And being in Cancer, it's going to be a bit of a kind of time to hide away for a lot of people. It's never, never good to hide away from life, really, in a big way. But at times like this, and at certain other times in astrology, it's good to kind of just hide yourself away temporarily, or just maybe withdraw into yourself a little bit, retreat back a bit, and like the hermit in tarot, sometimes it's healthy to go right into yourself and to actually think about things. Just don't stay there, whatever you do, you've got to keep on living life, and you don't get anywhere unless you're actually out there. But a Cancer moon, vulnerability comes out in people, and that can make us touchy, it can be emotional, and we tend to only want to communicate with either people very close to us or people who we are so sure are very like-minded that that doesn't give us any kind of threat or anything. We also see emotional difficulties coming up in the workplace, and they can get in the way of business. So be aware of that, please, guys, today, because the Cancer moon is here, and we'll actually be, let me see, we've got it right through the full moon, and it's actually going to be until 16 minutes past 4 a.m. Pacific on Saturday the 11th of January, 16 minutes past 7 then Eastern, and 12:16 p.m. just into the afternoon here in UK on Saturday the 11th of January 2020. But by then the full moon will have waned a bit, and things will be that bit more open, that bit more out there, and that bit easier to deal with. So what's going on today? Sun is still conjunct Saturn. That's been the case for a few days. Who's to blame? Beginnings, endings, delays, obstacles, cooling down, a time to be patient wherever leadership is concerned, and that of course includes leadership of ourselves. Moon today is sextile Uranus. She moves a lot more often because she's that much closer to us, and it's all about where she appears as we view her from Earth. So sextile Uranus, people much more kind of excitable actually, and if you're going to try and thrill people with an innovation, this wouldn't be a bad time to do it, except to say the moon's in Cancer. So maybe plan that, but maybe don't actually get out there and do it. Novelty, experimentation. But Uranus is very close to the end of its retrograde at the moment, so it's kind of unpredictable, I wouldn't say it's bubbling up exactly, but it's definitely unpredictable, and Uranus is actually void in Taurus. Excuse me. So it's kind of unconventional actions going on. It's difficult to call things. Radical, surprising things can happen. Disagreements happen around kind of which way is the way forward when we've got Uranus void in Taurus. Basically, that means there's going to be discord. People with agendas will kind of try and make their point against the opposition, and it's just a bit like that. It's just a bit like it gets you nowhere. So definitely a keep your head down kind of a day today. Mercury conjunct the Sun. That's again been the case for a few days. We might see big news announcements, and they can be positive as well as negative, like the rain in Australia that dampened down all the terrible trouble that there'd been with fires. I think we've all been praying for that. It's certainly been in my prayers. And there was a very touching video on YouTube actually of a koala bear going up to cyclists and hassling them for a drink of water because it was so dry. And in nature, that kind of thing just doesn't happen. So the koala bears must have been really, really pushed to have to do that. So it's been really difficult out there, and that was a fantastic announcement, and that came in while Mercury was conjunct the Sun. It actually came in that, it was raining and things were improving. So these radical announcements aren't all bad. I would just take them in your stride today, really, and think about things, It's a day to keep your head down, and if you've got to argue something out, make sure you know where everyone else is heading and where the argument is heading before you actually open your mouth. Sort of engaged brain before putting mouth in gear kind of a day. Venus void in Aquarius. A lot of people who are acting things out are doing it from a place of very strong emotions today. Some are willing to take risks to do that, and love and sex seem compulsive. So, we've got to keep those impulses, that's what you got to do. Keep those impulses under control. And I know my viewers aren't impulsive like that. I'm not accusing anybody, but it's a day when impulse control is most definitely an issue. Okay, folks, well, I'm really surprised I managed to wake up in time to do this today, because we had the most incredible winds blowing last night. It was just really, really insane weather, and I kept going to bed, and I was awake about 2:30 in the morning, I think, and I stayed up till about 4:30 because there was just no point trying to sleep. It was so noisy, and I thought a tree might fall on the house. It didn't, I'm very glad to say, but bit of a scary one, most definitely. So I'm not going back to bed. I've got loads of videos to do, but I am absolutely knackered today, so I'm going to leave it there. Thanks ever so much for watching. Have a fantastic Thursday, the 9th of January 2020. Get ready for that full moon coming in tomorrow, and I'll see you very soon indeed. Peace.